I recently built a budget gaming PC around the Foifkin F600, the case that claims to offer 7 RGB fans, a full tempered glass side panel, and enough room for a modern rig, all for roughly $70. On paper, that's a crazy good deal. But does it actually live up to the hype, or is it just a flashy budget case with hidden compromises? Let's start with the positives. Out of the box, the F600 feels surprisingly solid for the price. The glass side panel is clear and thick enough, the frame is fairly rigid, and mounting the motherboard and PSU was straightforward. Having 7 pre-installed RGB fans is a big plus for a cheap case. It gives you a ready-to-go build with uniform lighting and no need to buy additional fans or RGB kits. For a budget build, that saves money and hassle. Airflow-wise, the arrangement of fans does a decent job. With 3 intake fans up front and 4 exhaust or similar configuration, the airflow keeps components like CPU and GPU temperatures in reasonable ranges, provided your ambient room gets some ventilation too. For a mid-range GPU build or a standard gaming PC, that's more than acceptable under $70. Cable management and build space are decent as well. There's enough clearance for standard air coolers or a mid-range AIO cooler, and cable routing cutouts are usable. For compact motherboards or micro ATX setups, you don't feel overly cramped. It's not premium, but for budget builds, it's practical. Now, the drawbacks. First, noise. Those 7 fans spin fast and flashy, but under load, like gaming or rendering, the sound becomes noticeable. If you're building a silent PC or small workstation, you'll either need to replace fans with quieter ones or accept the humfest. For a living room or quiet setup, that's a downside. Second, finishing and quality control. The glass panel sits well, but seems a bit prone to fingerprints and dust, which means regular cleaning. Some of the included fans also feel budgety. Bearings are basic, and vibrations are more noticeable than in pricier cases. Long-term, you may want to swap them out. Also, modularity is limited. HDD cages are basic and not very flexible. If you plan a large, high-storage build with many drives, this case may feel restrictive. Cable management space behind the motherboard tray is average. If you're cramming several drives and large power supply cables, cable clutter becomes a problem. Finally, the value for money equation depends heavily on your expectations. If you want a flashy-looking case for a mid-range gaming build and don't mind some noise or basic fans, F600 delivers remarkably well for the price. But if you expect premium silent operation, build flexibility, or long-term durability, you'll likely outgrow it quickly. So, is the Foifkin F600 worth buying? If you're on a tight budget, building a first PC, or want a colorful gaming machine without spending much, it's a strong yes. It offers a lot of features often reserved for expensive cases: tempered glass, multiple fans, decent airflow, and a clean look. But if you're building a long-term rig, want quiet performance, or demand high build quality, treat it as a temporary entry-level solution, not a final home for a high-end build. In simple terms, Foifkin F600 is a budget hero, but only if you know and accept its limits.